Hmm.
Talk me through. Well, for those who might not know, you attended the
Test event.
Brighton versus Chelsea pre-season match, which was the first match in the new era. Could you say post-COVID?
Yeah,
That actually allowed fans back in the ground. So,
yeah,
how was
yeah.
that?
No, it's interesting. Good to be back. I thought it worked really well. I have to praise the club a lot. I think going into it, I was sort of, I was happy that we're trying something. A lot of, a lot of talk from a lot of people. Oh, it's going to be crap. It won't be the same. And
Hmm.
you could chant, you could sit there without your mask. You didn't have to sit with your mask throughout the whole game.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so you could take that off when you're in your seat, and you could
So,
chant.
talk me through the process. You turn up to the ground.
Turn up to the ground. You can't take your face mask off, so you had to have that on walking up to the ground. Get to the entrance, check your ID. They're very stringent on the ID that they only want for people. I think
Okay.
that's all to do with the track and trace system.
Yep.
So there's no passing on tickets like there was,
Mm.
before.
Yeah.
Then they didn't take my temperature, but apparently they were doing it all on the CCTV.
Right.
So with infrared cameras,
Okay.
the heat
Interesting.
sensitive ones. So then went upstairs still with mask on, get the concourse, you can buy your beer, and then you can take your mask off to drink and eat. And as long as you
That's
stay in
it.
your little bubble, there are four of
Yeah.
us, so we stayed together.
Were they
Um,
sort of strict about mingling or?
you couldn't just mingle with anyone, but you could talk to them at a distance.
Yeah.
But we just stayed in our bubble of four people, had a few drinks, then we went took a seat. The one-way system in and out of your seats. So everybody you had to enter. Basically, you'd move to your right, so you'd enter, go up, and then when you're finished, you've got to go stand up and go to your right, not your left.
Okay. So
Um,
anti-clockwise.
yes, um, but that was fine. I wasn't. That wasn't an issue. Lots of people got that wrong, though. I could see them. They would.
Oh. Well, it's happening
I think.
everywhere.
Yeah, I think it. I everywhere you go, and it's just even. But lots of people getting up and going to the right, like to go for a wee during the game, and the steward pointing at them quite aggressively, like
Yeah.
go the other way. But other than that, it was fine. You're 3 seats away from anyone at any given time, so that's good. It didn't feel crowded, but at the same time, it didn't feel empty.
What was the
Because
atmosphere like?
the atmosphere was really good, actually. I think people were Sussex by the Sea was very jovial.
Yeah.
On my Instagram feed, you had a very poor rendition of it.
I think
Um,
where everyone hasn't been there, obviously, for quite a while,
yeah,
I can imagine the atmosphere is quite buoyant because
and
everyone.
I think the thing which because people watch on the live stream, and I think people are pointing out is you can't. I don't mind the cat like the put in noise, the filtered in fake crowd noise, but it's not quite the same as when you have a real crowd there. I think
No.
it was quite something
Yeah.
that I did genuinely miss was when the lino hadn't because there was a feeling that the Chelsea goal may have been slightly offside.
Mm.
Um, and when the lino finally put his flag up, there was a big cheer, sarcastic cheer, and those are the sort of stuff you can't really do with the
Yeah.
film.
You can't
That
count that. It's a bit naughty.
yeah. So yeah, that was good. Can you hear the Chelsea thing? That was another one. Um,
So
one
they
nil.
only sat you in one stand, it looked like,
So it
or
was the east and a little bit of the south that was being used as well.
so
So
if we're well, they're suggesting that 30% of crowds.
I can imagine. Well, it would make sense that this is 25% with this
Mm,
seating layout because it's for every 4 seats, one of them is filled,
yeah.
which is a quarter.
So that would
Uh,
get
yeah, so
about 7,500 in the ground.
30,000. Yeah, about that.
I
No,
mean, it's
maybe
a
slightly
start.
more. The start, yeah, definitely. Um, and yeah, no, it's really good day out. Stayed at the end. They did. They Frank Lampard and Graham Potter did interviews in the stadium rather than
Oh, and you could
that were
hear
on
all
the
that.
screen. You could hear all that rather than waiting around in the concourse. I think they wanted to keep people there a little bit longer.
Yeah. Okay.
Um, then we had a few pints after the game, and I think we were the last ones left in there
Excellent.
at about 5:30 ish, and then we headed into town. But yeah, no, it's really good, really well run. Like I think the important thing was everybody enjoyed themselves, and we
Yeah.
all enjoyed ourselves. Like we had fun.
Mm,
That is the important thing. I think that's what the CEO of Brighton wanted it to be. Like
mm.
we want it to be an enjoyable experience. Otherwise, it's pointless.
So on
Uh,
a if we're looking at this like the government, would you
yeah.
say on a safety and coronavirus prevention perspective it was a success?
Yes, I would say so. I would say it's a success. Though you could see there were lots of people from the club just observing,
Mm.
that were standing around in the concourse watching people. Um,
Clipboards everywhere.
yeah, exactly. So it all went very well in my mind.